is Late Night. We hope you're doing well. And now, if you don't mind, we're going to get to the news. President Trump said yesterday that he was unaware of social media speculation that he had died. I'm sorry, the most online president of all time wasn't aware of what was happening online. The only way that's possible is, oh, maybe he was dead. Nice recovery, my man. During an event yesterday in the Oval Office, President Trump said that his efforts to fight crime in Washington, D.C. have been effective and families can now, quote, walk right down the middle of the street. Wow. He managed to get rid of the crime and the cars? During the same event, President Trump also said, quote, without the United States, everything in the world would die. I don't know about that. I think you're thinking about the sun. According to reports, President Trump is planning to deploy the National Guard on Friday to Chicago, and he's already placed an order. Just bring me back some Lou Malnati's, a couple Italian beefs, maybe something from the Bear restaurant. We love the Bear. President Trump posted a video yesterday on Truth Social that appears to show a U.S. military strike on a boat carrying drugs in the Caribbean, a move that was very pleasing to Donald Trump and very upsetting to Donald Trump. When asked, how about a heads up, Dad? When asked yesterday about taking steps to help prevent school shootings, President Trump said he considered a plan to build safety doors and added, quote, I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. It's like that old saying, the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is an idiot with a door. Rudy Giuliani said yesterday that after his New Hampshire car accident over the weekend, he has to wear a back brace for 2 weeks, but only because there's nowhere to put a neck brace. Paramount announced yesterday it will develop a live-action film based on the video game Call of Duty. It's the story of a grizzled war veteran who gets his ass absolutely smoked by a 12-year-old. Eric Trump posted a video of himself on X today losing to a Japanese sumo wrestler, and this is weird, at Checkers. New York's first curbside restaurant week begins on Friday. Hell yeah, said rats. I feel bad for the 4 people who wooed right before. They're like, aw. According to a new survey, the average American falls asleep at 11:18 p.m. and then wakes up again at 12:37? Turns on NBC? And finally, in honor of the chain's 60th anniversary, Subway will give away the wall art from its shops, although I don't know if I'd call that art. And that was a monologue, everybody. We are off to the races. We got a great show tonight. He is a legendary Emmy and Oscar-winning filmmaker behind films like Do the Right Thing, He Got Game, Malcolm X, and BlacKkKlansman. His latest, Highest to Lowest, is in theaters now and also on Apple TV Plus this Friday. Spike Lee is here, everybody. He's an Emmy-nominated actor you know from movies like The Meg and Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, and of course is Dwight Schrute on The Office. He stars in Code 3 in weekends, in theaters, and in weekends. They're trying a new thing with this movie. In theaters next weekend, our friend Rainn Wilson is back on the show. Before we get to all that, Donald Trump and GOP leaders are panicking over a bill that would force the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Well, for seemingly the 1,000,000th day in a row, a lot is going on. The Trump administration, for example, is threatening to go to war with both Venezuela and Chicago. And it's nice of him to have one abroad and one at home because now even soldiers without passports can participate. Trump wants to repeat in Chicago what he's already done in D.C., although he seems mostly fixated on the physical appearance of the troops.
This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong, physically fit, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke. but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking.
Whether you're woke or not, you got to admit, if a soldier is not physically strong enough to lift a gun out of a holster, that would be a huge problem. Seriously, who does he think is getting these soldier jobs? Sheldon? He was too weak to carry a bazooka, so instead they had to give him a bazinga. It was so sad. So very sad. Trump cares very much about making sure the soldiers are big and strong, especially because, as he said before, the quote-unquote bad guys are also big and strong.
These are tough people in many cases. A lot of young men, strong men. It's actually mostly young men and a lot of rough people. When you look at that caravan and you look of largely very, big percentage of men, young, strong.
He sounds like a Long Island mother trying to set up her daughter on a date. Honey, you're gonna love him. He's a doctor, he's young, he's strong. But of course, that's not our only big, strong men montage, because everyone in Trump's cartoon brain is big and strong. The good guys, the bad guys, the guys who come up to him to tell him how awesome he is.
A strong man came up to me, tough kind of a guy, and said, I want to thank you, Mr. President, for saving our country. And he had tears coming down his eyes. Men that were tough and strong, they'd see me, their tears coming down their eyes. A man came up to me and he was crying. Strong man, big, tough guy, but he was crying.
It's like Trump knows he's not big and strong, so he can't bring up a big and strong guy without also cutting him down a little bit. He was a big, tough guy, but also a crybaby. So in the end, I'm the real man. But this is what Trump does. He just concocts these cartoon delusions that are completely detached from reality. In his addled brain, our cities are just a bunch of big, strong men just running around fighting each other, some of them good, some of them bad, some of them crying. And I just want to say I live in a city, as does most of our staff, and I can tell you none of us, not one, are big or strong. Except for our two security guards, John and Jim. But they do cry a lot. I should say, they cry all the time, not because of Trump, but because they're Mets fans. They cry when they lose. And they also cry when the Mets win twice as hard. They're always like, I never thought this day would come. They even cry when the Mets are rained out because that's when they remember they're also Jets fans. So according to Trump, everyone involved in this scenario is big and strong, unless they're protesters. Then I guess they're weak and old. That's what Stephen Miller said when Trump officials visited the troops in Washington.
All these demonstrators that you've seen out here in recent days, all of these elderly white hippies, they're not part of the city and never have been. So we're going to ignore these stupid white hippies that all need to go home and take a nap because they're all over 90 years old.
Oh, come on, dude, pick a lie. Either everyone's big and strong and that's why you need the troops, or they're old and weak, in which case you don't need troops to fend them off. Just give them some warm milk and a Storage Wars rerun. They'll be out cold. Also, do you really want to be calling out old white guys who take naps? Is that the fight you want to pick? Because the first example that comes to mind is your boss. I mean, look at him. Dude's out cold. He's supposed to be conducting official business as the President of the United States. He looks like a grandpa sitting in a massage chair at Brookstone. If you saw this guy out in public, you wouldn't say, that's the president. You'd say, that's
not a person that is woke.
Trump and his cronies want to project to the nation that he's the ultimate authority, that he's unstoppable, and that his power cannot be questioned. But he's learning that's not the case when it comes to the Epstein scandal, which he can't seem to make go away despite repeatedly calling it a hoax.
This is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It's really a Democrat hoax. We're having the most successful 8 months of any president ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. It's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax.
The Jeffrey Epstein hoax, too, because that's another hoax that's frankly put out by the pushing the Republicans and put out by the Democrats.
The whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats. That's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bull.
I'll say this about Trump. He's not big and strong, but he definitely sounds like he's about to cry. The dude is absolutely spooked about this Epstein stuff in a way I've never seen before. Well, I mean, he looked spooked the other day leaving the White House. Looks like he saw a ghost, or more likely a mirror, and then his own reflection, and then yelled, "Oh, a ghost!" Trump is really spinning out over the Epstein stuff, which is only getting worse as members of Congress from both parties push for answers despite heavy resistance from the White House.
Republican Congressman Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna have been trying to force a vote demanding the DOJ release all the Epstein files.
Both the GOP leadership here in Capitol Hill and the White House have been launching an all-out campaign, a pressure campaign to get Republicans to back off of that discharge petition. The White House went so far as actually to call it a hostile act in a statement if anyone signs on to that discharge petition.
Is it your understanding the White House is whipping against the vote? That was reporting today, but has that been clear to you?
Oh, absolutely. I've talked to the person who's doing the whipping. I've seen the texts being sent to my colleagues. They are trying very hard to keep this from getting the requisite number of signatures to force the vote.
Man, I wonder what's in those text messages. Do not vote for this bill or we will send big, strong men to your house, and not the crying ones. That's right, the Trump White House called it a hostile act to support a bill to release the Epstein files, which seems like an obvious admission that Trump is implicated. Like, why else would it be a hostile act? If my wife asked to see the For You page on my Instagram account because she was curious how different my algorithm was from hers, and I said, "That's a hostile act," she's gonna immediately assume there's some tasty babes on that For You page. But I told her it's not real Tasty Babes, it's AI models, so it's fine because that's just computer stuff. You can't be mad about computer stuff. Trump is scared of releasing the files because his name is in them. His own attorney general told him so, and today members of both parties gathered with Epstein survivors to call for more transparency.
Jeffrey Epstein's accusers joining lawmakers on Capitol Hill today calling for more transparency in this case. 10 of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers are demanding the release of all of the Justice Department's Epstein files.
The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And his biggest brag forever was that he was very good friends with Donald Trump. He had an 8x10 framed picture of him on his desk with the two of them. They were very close.
8x10, that's a big ass frame. I won't even spring for 8x10 on my kids' school pictures. This is like finding out they were so close that Jeffrey Epstein got one of those coffee mugs with the two of them on it. Epstein must have been very proud of their friendship. I mean, was there also a little plaque at the bottom of that frame that described them as
Big, strong guys.
And the pressure campaign from the White House does not seem to be working. Several Republicans appeared at this press conference demanding the full release of the files, including some who have been very close to Trump.
I think it's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real.
It's grieved me to watch the arguments and debates take place among my colleagues and even the administration. The truth needs to come out. And the government holds the truth.
Wow, can you imagine how Trump's going to react when he sees that one of his closest allies in Congress is supporting what his own administration has called a hostile act? He's going to have
Tears coming down his eyes.
This should not be about partisan politics. If prominent Democrats are implicated, so be it. Everything should come out regardless of party. In fact, the only person making it about partisan politics is Donald Trump, who keeps claiming it's all a hoax and that it was Democrats who created the Epstein files just to get him, which has only made things worse. He keeps digging the hole deeper and deeper. At this point, Trump should probably just stop talking. Maybe he should
Go home and take a nap.
This has been A Closer Look.